All right, let's get into it. Today, we're looking at a really powerful new idea for the world of work from the one and only Seth Godin. It's from his book, The Song of Significance, and, it basically says we're at this huge fork in the road and we have to make a choice. Godin starts with a line that it hits home, right? If you've been paying any attention at all, you already know work isn't working. And you've felt this. It's a feeling that bosses have, employees have. It's this shared sense of frustration that the whole system just feels, well, broken. And this isn't just a vague feeling. It has a real, almost unbelievable cost. $8 billion. That's how much one company, Amazon, supposedly lost in a single year just from people quitting. $8 billion. This isn't some abstract HR problem, it's a full-blown financial disaster, and it's rooted in how we organize our work. So step one is just admitting what we all know to be true. Work isn't working. I mean, whether you're running the team or you're on the team, you know that feeling of being drained, right? Of feeling like your energy and your trust just aren't being put to good use. That's a pretty universal feeling these days. And here's the thing, Godin says we're stuck. We're caught in this system that was built for a totally different era. And what do we do when things go wrong? Our instinct is to just double down on the parts that are already broken. It's not a new problem. It's the result of how we've all been taught to think about work for decades. So what's the actual diagnosis here? What's at the very heart of this broken system? Godin gives it a name. He calls it the industrial mindset trap. And this is the old, outdated philosophy that's really holding everybody back. So, what even is industrialism? Well, think of it this way. It's a system designed to use power to make money. And its main strategy is to turn everything, and I mean everything, including people, into interchangeable cogs in a giant machine. The whole game is optimized for two things: compliance and control. Not creativity, not humanity. And this chart just makes it crystal clear. On one side, you've got management. That's about getting people to do yesterday's work, but faster and cheaper. It needs authority, it's about compliance. But then, look at the other side, leadership. That's inviting people on a journey, creating something new. It's totally voluntary, and it's about earning enrollment. One's about control, the other is all about possibility. Now, the end result of all this industrial thinking is what Godin calls a race to the bottom. It's this endless competition built on taking shortcuts, slashing prices, and basically sacrificing our own humanity for a tiny little edge. And let me tell you, that is a race you absolutely do not want to win. Because winning means you've stripped out everything that actually makes work worth doing. Okay, but this isn't all doom and gloom. Far from it. Because there's a better way. And that brings us to the real heart of this whole idea, this powerful, hopeful alternative called the Song of Significance. So what is significant work? It's actually pretty simple. It's work that matters. It's knowing you're making a difference, that you're part of something important. It's the kind of work that lets you go home at the end of the day feeling genuinely proud of what you did. It's the human stuff that you can never automate or outsource. And hey, this isn't just some nice-sounding theory. Godin actually surveyed 10,000 people about the best job they ever had. And the answers? They weren't about the money. The biggest things were surprising themselves with what they could do, having the freedom to work independently, and building something important with a team. What people crave, what they really want, is autonomy, impact, and just plain old respect. But that brings up a really good question. Can any job be significant? I mean, can washing a car be significant? You think maybe not, but let's look at an example that proves the answer is a huge resounding yes. Let me tell you about the Rising Tide Car Wash. They built their entire business around a mission. Their mission is to create a place of real safety and purpose, and they do that by mostly hiring people with autism. And the results? They're incredible. Their employee retention is five times the industry average. They wash more cars, they make more money than most of their competitors. Their success is built entirely on a foundation of significance. And here it is. This is the secret. Rising Tide doesn't exist to wash cars. washing cars is merely an opportunity to make a difference for their employees and their customers. You see, their focus isn't the task itself, it's the people. The profit, the success, that's just what happens when you get the people part right. Okay, this all sounds amazing, but how do we actually do it? How can you start making this change? Well, that brings us to our final section, a new path forward. Godin gives us a really clear, actionable toolkit that anybody at any level can use to start making this shift. He calls these the significance commitments. First, make change happen. Be crystal clear about your why. Profit is a result, it's not the goal. Second, invest in dignity. You got to see that treating people with respect isn't just the right thing to do, it's a huge competitive advantage. Third, criticize the work, not the worker. Feedback is a gift for the project, it's not a personal takedown. And last, take responsibility. Give credit. You have to build a culture where people feel safe to step up and lead, and where they get celebrated when they do. So the takeaway here is really simple. The old playbook, it's done. It's obsolete. This industrial era of top-down management, demanding compliance, and trying to control everything, it just doesn't work anymore. We now have a choice to make, and we have the tools to pick a new playbook, a more human one, and a more successful one. In the end, this whole thing boils down to asking one completely different question. Instead of asking what the market needs, we need to ask, what do humans need? What do the people we work with need to actually thrive? So I'll just leave you with this to think about. What does your team, what do the people around you truly need from you right now to do work that really matters?